This is Rich. I am back with the multi-part series of videos covering the richwithpoints.com website. Today's section is the wallet setups. Now this section is fairly complex, but I've tried to make it as simple as possible for the user, but there's so much information, so many things you can do on this page. It's a lot. So let's cover this. So it's very similar to the card comparison section that we did in the last video, but the difference is instead of comparing one card to two other cards, or one card to another card, you can compare entire wallet setups to one another to see how they compete when you mix and match cards. So let's just jump into it. The first thing you'll see is the standard drop down of just start choosing a card to do your comparison with. But again, like with the card comparison tool, we also have these popular setups. So if you have cards in the My Cards section, which you can find over here, we cover in a previous video, then those will be all listed here. So you can just immediately just slap your cards into play, or you can choose from some popular setups that are out there. If you guys have suggestions of other setups that should be listed in the popular setups, please let me know, put them down below, and I'll add those to this list. Same thing with the card comparison. So we'll start easy. We'll do some popular setup comparison. So the big three are the Chase versus the American Express versus the Capital One. So I'll choose for the first one, the Chase Trifecta with the reserve. Now that immediately gives us a column with 3 cards in the list. If you want to remove a card, just click on it and it'll just take that card out of the setup. And if you want to add another card to it, then you can just type here, gold, and then you can add that card to the setup if you want. You can mix and match setups. They don't have to be from the same bank or whatever. Any setup that you can dream up, you can put it in here and compare it to other setups. So I'm just gonna leave it a clean Chase Trifecta. And to add another column, just come over here and you'll click on the Add Wallet button, and that'll add an additional column. And now I can choose the American Express Trifecta or the Quadfecta. I'm just naming it. These, I don't even know if that's really what they're named. So we'll click on the Trifecta, which is the Business Blue, American Express, and the Platinum. And then I'll add one more column, which is the Capital Duo. And there we go. So now we have entire setups that we're going to be comparing with one another. And how that works is we combine the annual fees. So if you watched the last video with the card comparison, you're doing one card, one card, one card. We do the annual fee for each card and then the earning points in each category for each card across, line by line to see how they do against each other. With this one, we combine the annual fees. So this is a combined total annual fee. Same with the Platinum and the gold, they're adding that up. And then of course the Chase Sapphire of these 3 is the only one that has an annual fee. And the Venture X is the only one that has an annual fee. So it's just $3.95 for that one. So we add those up and then we declare the winner. So the lowest annual fee is in green. And then the second is in yellow. And then the grayed out one is in third. So, and then the same goes with the earning points, except for, which was different than the card comparison, we're taking the card that earns the most in each category and using that one against the card that earns the most in the other wallet for that category, and so on. So airfare outside of the portal, Capital One doesn't have a category for that. So what happens? It goes to the fallback category of 2x, because that'll be the highest way you can get points in the airfare category from the Capital One setup. So we give you, and again, if you haven't seen the previous videos, go watch the previous videos where I talk about the point value equalizer. The Points Guys website gives valuations based on how much each point is worth. So we use that to give you an apples to apples comparison of points. So the value of those 2x points are 3.7. The value of these 5x points are 10x, and the value of these 3x points are 6.15. So in order to give a good comparison between cards, we level the playing field. You're not really gonna earn 10 points on the Platinum. You're gonna earn 5, but they're worth 10 when compared to the other systems, okay? Got it. Now, Since the Venture X only earns 2x, valued at 3.7, then we use that Venture X card for that so that we can compare to how the Platinum earns, which does have an earning category in airfare, pretty much the only one, so that we can see how do I do when I'm buying airfare outside of the portal. And then the same thing with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. It has the travel category. We broke that out to show that you do earn 3x on airfare. So we're not going to use the 1.5 from the unlimited because the Chase Sapphire will cover that in its travel category, which earns 3x. And then with the point equalizer turned on, it's 6.15. So you can see that the Platinum wins in the airfare category. Second is the Sapphire Reserve. And then third is the Venture X. And then we do that for every single one. So airfare in the portal, they actually all are in the same in the portal. It just happens to pull the very first card that earns. So that's why it's showing the flex. And then in the portal, it doesn't matter. So it's always going to be 5x in or outside of the portal. So it's going to be 10x there. And then in the portal, the Venture X does much better with 5x, which 9.25 with the point equalizer turned on. All right. And then all other, you get 2x from the Venture X, which is 3.7. You get 2x from the Blue Business Plus. So that's 4x with the valuation turned on. So it wins, even though these are the same 2x, the points are valued higher on Amex than on the Capital One. So we get a winner here, second, and then third with the unlimited for the all other category. So we do that for each category as we go down. We get the winners from each cards for that category and compare them for the winners from all the other cards. So we go down and then we get a sense of you seeing the greens and the yellows as to which ones are doing the best across the board. And then this will all come into play at the end. We have a calculations. The easy way to get there is just click on the view calculations and it'll just snap you down to the calculations portion. So you don't have to keep scrolling because this is a long page because we're comparing everything. We're comparing all these categories. Now we're comparing benefits, and different than the card comparison tool, because we're going to use these in calculations at the bottom of the page, is you can enable credits or disable credits. So if you aren't going to use the clear credit, for example, you can just disable it. I automatically check the high value ones. So anything with a gold star, I'm going to automatically check for you. I'm going to assume that you're going to use all the high value credits from the benefits. But if you don't, you can just turn one off. So we can turn that off. I don't do clear. I only use the pre-check, whatever. The anniversary bonus, you're just going to get that. And then none of these have benefits that return in monetary value. So here's some. So the annual travel credit, why not turn that on? Why not turn that on for the venture? The digital entertainment credit, you can turn those on and off. But if you use Lyft, you can turn that on. If you love the Premier collection from Capital One, you can turn that on. It'll factor that in the bottom in the calculations, but I'm going to turn those off for now. If you don't think the Walmart Plus credit is high value, even though you get Paramount Plus streaming free with it and free delivery from delivering groceries and so on, you can turn that off. If you use Uber Cash, you can turn that on. So dining credit, I actually use that. I'll turn that on. I don't use any of these other credits. The Dunkin' credit, my wife and I get teased from there all the time. So I'm going to turn that on. So once you have all the credits set up, no, I don't use Peloton. You can go to the bottom where the calculations, like I said, if you're up here and you just bring me to the calculations, just click there and I'll snap you right to the calculations. Now, and this is the insane part, now we're going to take the annual spending that I set in I think one of the first videos that I did in this series. So I set up all my annual spending, and we'll snap over there real quick. So I've set up all my annual spending for all the categories. Any category that I don't specify that is listed on there is going to be included in the all other. Snap back here to view calculations. Now you're going to say, okay, I spend $2,000 on airfare every year, and I have 10.25x on airfare through the portal. My total points that I'm going to get for that year are, roughly 20,000 points through this setup. Over here on this setup, I'm getting 20,000 points. Over here on this setup, I'm getting 18,500 points. So this gives you line by line, how you're gonna do in each category with each setup. And we're gonna tally this up for you. So all these equate to some monetary value. And if you have the point value equalizer turned on, then that will factor into those as well. So as a matter of fact, let me just show you with this. So if I turn that off, you'll see the points change. So this was 10x with it on and 5x, and now it's down to 10 instead of 20. So if you leave that on, it's gonna automatically factor in those points at the value. And then when you scroll down, we're gonna give you a sign-up bonus as well. And then that is factored into the point equalizer. So if you get the sign-up bonus for all of those cards, and then with the point valuation, they're gonna be worth 310,000 points. And then this is the total points with all of these points all added up together. And then it gives you the cash value of those points. It's gonna subtract the annual fee. It's going to then add in all of the benefit monetary values in there, and it'll give you a total of that. And then it'll give you a grand total of that first year. It breaks this up in year 1, year 2, because you're not going to get the sign-up bonus in year 2. You're only going to get it in year 1. So the anniversary bonus you will, and that's all factored in. But for the sign-up bonus for year 1 is obviously going to be much higher in year 1 than year 2. So we give you the year 1 calculations and comparison. So you can see you get 5,500 here, 33 here, and 38 over here. And then year 2, we do the same thing, which is basically the same calculation, except we're now not including the sign-up bonus. And then here we go, 2,100, 2,400, and 2,400. So this will give you, I mean, almost exactly. I mean, yes, all this is estimated. You know, your annual spending, how meticulous you are about getting that correct, and then how you're going to use the points using the point equalizer. But I mean, where else have you seen it get this accurate though? I don't know of another tool that does this. I know that you can do this on like one card. I don't know of any other website that tells you a whole setup of spending compared to other setups. And the cool thing about it is, if you scroll to the top, and now you can just add in ones that you like, what's it like if I add in, you know, the daily advantage card to cover things that this setup doesn't cover, or the double cash, you know, city double cash card. And then we'll screw it. Let me put in the Premier. I should have just typed it all in. City Strata Premier compared to, you know, let's do Wells over here. So if I have the Attune and the Autograph mixed in with this set, how am I doing now? So I can snap down to the valuations and see, oh, well, this jumps me up quite a bit in value. And then over here, now instead of 21, now I'm 23. Instead of 24 over here, now I'm 26. That's a better value to have those Wells cards mixed in, earning points to cover the points that I wasn't earning with just the Capital One Duo. My net value is higher. So you can really get, I mean, you can really get fine-grained and try different things and see how those compare to each other. So that's the wallet setup. The possibilities that you can put together and compare to each other are limitless. I think this is the most fun part about the website, is being able to do this, because it really gives you a lot of information that you can make informed decisions on which cards to get and which setups to have. Let me know what you think in the comments. Happy to have any feedback or suggestions. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.